The Japanese had IDSs way back in the day, but since they didn't have computers, they used people. So around the Edo period, maybe 1500s, 1600s, the Satsuma clan of Kyushu created an artificial dialect with unique intonations for their people so that if a spy came in from the outside, they'd be found out easily. So basically what happened was the leader of the Satsuma clan said to his people, you know, okay, everybody, from today we will start talking a little different. And then everybody starts talking with these weird intonations. So then if, you know, someone comes in from the outside, you know, hey, wasabi guys, you know, they know he's a spy and he gets killed and all that fun stuff. No-tech hacking. Knocking over ATMs with a crane isn't very subtle, but surely effective. This pad peaked around 2002 with 57 incidents and only 2 arrests. Things increased. The police seem to have caught on the next year and arrested 33 people, but still, you know, 44 incidents, 32 failed attempts. As you would expect, different social engineering techniques are required for different cultures. What works in one country may not work in another, and vice versa. So in Japan, we have the one-click contract. It's a phishing attack usually used on porno or dating sites. There are various techniques, but I'll just discuss the basic idea. What happens is, once you enter the site, you get a message saying, by clicking the previous link, you have agreed to the contract. Please deposit X amount of money into such and such bank account by tomorrow, or the fee will be doubled, and then all this legal jargon to try to confuse them. Then one trick is to look up their city by IP address and tell them that you know where they live and that you'll go after them or file a lawsuit against them if they don't pay. So people, you know, think, oh no, how do they know where I live and what's an IP address? And they get scared and they pay. And the requested money usually isn't ridiculous. It's about $100 or so, so most people can afford it. And by the way, this is mostly legal for some reason, so a lot of people are making a lot of money from this and not getting caught, or not getting in trouble. So this technique works in Japan because it exploits characteristics of Japanese behavior. Most Japanese hate causing trouble or being dragged into trouble, so they'd rather just pay the money instead of, you know, have to worry about some scary guy knocking at their door or something like that. No-tech session hijacking. In 1968, 300 million yen was stolen from an armored truck. 300 million yen is about $3 million, but in 1968, so in today's money, maybe a little bit more. This incident was creatively dubbed the 300 million yen incident. What happened was that somebody found out that a truck transporting 300 million yen from point A to point B was going to be crossing this road here. So that person dressed up like a police officer on a white police officer motorcycle and chased down and pulled over the truck. He told everyone inside that he just received word that there might be a bomb in the truck and to let him check. So as he's checking inside, he sets off a road flare. And as smoke starts filling the truck, he yells, you know, it's going to blow everyone out. So everyone runs for their lives, and he drives off with the truck. What's funny is, apparently the escaped people thought that this police officer was trying to save their lives by driving the about-to-explode truck away, and thought, wow, there goes a courageous man as he drives off with their money. Eventually, they figured out that the truck never blew up and that this courageous police officer was probably not coming back. So the real police went on a manhunt for the next several years, investigating an unprecedented 170,000 possible suspects. However, he was never caught. Yay! So in the early 2000s, social engineering became very popular. Although there are many techniques today, this all started out with the so-called it's me fraud. What happened was a young-sounding person would call up these senior citizens and pretend to be their child or grandchild. When asked who they were, he'd reply, ore, it's me. And then, which in Japan is natural because the Japanese language is very vague. So the senior citizen would guess who it could be. You know, is this Hiroshi? And then you reply, yeah, it's me, Hiroshi. Hey, I just got into a car accident, and I need to pay a couple grand on an out-of-court settlement, or else I'm going to be arrested. Or, you know, hey, I took out money from a loan shark, and he's after me. You know, I need to pay him quick. So the naive senior citizen gets tricked into depositing money for their grandchild, trying to help them out. So right now you're probably thinking, how much damage is being done with this kind of social engineering? In 2003, there was a sharp rise with almost 4,000 incidents, causing around $40 million in damages. This continued the next year, causing around $207 million in damages. In 2006, 100 people in organized crime, the Yakuza, were arrested after causing around $90 million in damages. And luckily, these incidents have been widely publicized by the media, and laws have been much stricter, so there are less attacks. However, there are still people devising sophisticated, targeted attacks. So to sum things up, social engineering attacks in Japan usually exploit certain characteristics of Japanese culture, such as wanting to avoid trouble, vagueness of language, strong trust, compassion for family members, etc. This doesn't work so well in the US because there's so much diversity, so it's much harder to predict, a person's cultural background and how they'll react to a certain attack. So it's interesting to analyze how different cultures react when they get the power of anonymity. Let's see what the Japanese have been doing with it. Can I get a show of hands of who has heard about Winnie? Okay, maybe like 10% people, maybe 10 people or so. It's a Japanese-oriented peer-to-peer file sharing program. It's by far the biggest problem in information security in Japan. Winnie is unique in that it provides confidentiality through encryption and anonymity. And most important, it's written in Japanese so people can read it. So yes, the Japanese people are like everyone else in the world. They don't have tens of thousands of dollars lying around to spend on legal music and software and videos, whatnot. So once people were assured that they could download these things for free and not get into any trouble, a lot of people jumped for joy. Winnie also provides malware, as many people put viruses in their shared folder because they're curious to see what will happen. The best one known is called Antini, short for anti-Winnie, which is a very unique virus in that, although being the lamest virus ever created, it's caused an enormous amount of damage. So this virus does not add you to a botnet or rootkit you or even delete anything. All it does is copy your personal files to your shared folder for the world to see. So this has been the cause of a huge amount of personal information leakage, ranging from regular people to companies small and large, to even the police. About a year ago, there wasn't one month that would go by on television where they talk about how some company or agency leaked personal information through Winnie. There's even one person who committed suicide after his personal information was leaked out to the world. So this is a very serious problem in Japan. Although everyone knows that Winnie is bad, old, and broken, there are still about 360,000 users, and everyone is curious to see about the future of this Winnie network. So-called dark sites are gradually increasing in popularity. This is an anonymous cyber underground used by the Japanese mafia, the Yakuza, and others to buy and sell illegal goods and services. Literally, almost anything bad imaginable is happening in this underground. And the unique thing about it is that it's usually only accessible via Japanese cell phones. This is done for secrecy purposes, so if you search on Google for these sites, you won't find them, or even if you do find them, you won't be let in unless you're coming from an IP address from a Japanese cell phone. The Yakuza like it because now they can recruit more people than ever and anonymously. The side admins, the middlemen, like it because they don't have to do any dirty work and they get paid very well. And the end users like it because now they can find jobs and it adds a layer of anonymity between them and their partners in crime. The police obviously do not like it because now it's much harder to track down these people. Of course, they're monitoring these sites, but everything is written in code. I'm looking for somebody who can fly over rainbows type of thing. So it's very difficult or impossible to prosecute. So, recent security news. On January 24th, not even a month ago, the first person ever in Japan was arrested for creating a virus. The virus spread through the Winnie network disguised as a popular anime. When somebody opened the file, a picture like this would pop up. This cute girl says, oh my, you're still using Winnie, I see. If you don't stop in 0.5 seconds, I'm going to brutally murder you. And then after 0.5 seconds, you notice that all of your media files have been deleted. However, as I said before, there are still no laws against creating viruses in Japan. So